What's up, mamas? How's it going? We have another guest. This is so exciting. I love when we have guests because you get to hear from somebody else other than us. And so I want to introduce Sarah Pickell. Yes, her last name is Pickell.
We are saying it right.
Yes, we were worried that we've been saying Sarah Pickell this whole time, and it was gonna be like something fancy.
Pickell.
Yeah,
Pickle.
Sarah Pickell. So in our country ways, it was Pickle. So we're so excited to have you here today, Sarah. Before we get to that, we do have a gift for you for coming all the way to the Sticks of Claremont to be with us, and we wanted to give this to you if I can reach it.
If we waited till the end, we would have forgotten and had to
Yes.
Thank
turn
you.
it back on.
This is so cool.
Yes.
Little something.
Just a little takeaway.
Oh, I love it.
Every mom
Yes.
needs a travel coffee
I love
mug.
it. This is awesome. I never have a lid. I always drive without the lid. So this is awesome. 'Cause I
Do you
won't
spill
it.
coffee all over your clothes? 'Cause
Sometimes.
that happens to me all
This
the
is
time.
great. This will be very well used. Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
for
You're
coming.
welcome. But we're so thankful that you came all the way from. Do you live in Gwinnett County?
I do. I live in Hamilton Mill.
Hamilton Mill. Okay, so she came all the way from. That's how far away?
Was it 45 minutes?
It was like 45 minutes.
45
Wasn't that
minutes
bad.
to the Sticks of Claremont to be with us today, and we are very thankful. Welcome to the Real Estate Mamas, the podcast for busy moms balancing the beautiful chaos of life, family, and the real estate hustle.
We're your hosts, Hannah Parker, Amanda Haney, and JC Heinen. We're three mamas in different stages of life and motherhood, but one thing unites us: our passion for real estate and helping other moms succeed in this amazing industry.
So whether you're a new mom juggling diapers and deadlines, a seasoned pro trying to carve out time for soccer games and showings, or somewhere in between, this podcast is for you.
Each week, we'll dive into the highs, the lows, and the lessons we've learned, bringing you real talk, actionable tips, and plenty of laughs along the way.
So grab a cup of coffee, or maybe just reheat the one you've forgotten about in the microwave, because this is your space to learn, connect, and grow with the Real Estate Mamas. So let's get this started. And you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you got into real estate?
Sure. Let's figure this out. I grew up in Cobb County, and I went to Kennesaw State University and became a nurse. I worked as a cardiac nurse for 10 years, and I hated it the whole time.
I can only imagine.
But I felt like I got married during that time. We started having babies during that time, and I just didn't know how to pivot or get out of nursing. And so the way our lives would work is I would work nights or weekends, and I'd switch shifts with my husband, Brandon. So we would just pass kids along. Yeah. So I started getting to the point as our kids got older, I was missing birthday parties and baseball games, and because I was working the weekends. So I was definitely able to be a stay-at-home mom during the week, but the weekends I was really missing out on. And I just knew I wanted to do something different, and I just couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do, but I needed to make money.
Right, absolutely.
My husband's a teacher, and I don't know if you know, but teachers don't get paid extravagantly well.
Unfortunately.
So,
I can move this out of the way too.
so
At least you had benefits from him.
yes.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. We've always used his benefits, thankfully.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
good.
With real estate,
Yeah,
you
that is
don't
the
get
one
benefits.
downside.
No. Your benefit is your flexibility.
Right. Everything else, pay for it.
But I had a friend that got her real estate license about a year before I did. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That's what I want to do. So I got my real estate license, and I kept working at the hospital for a period of time. And then as business picked up, I just started really, really cutting back. So at the very end, I was working one shift a month. And then I was like, oh, I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
God, I bet you dreaded that one shift.
It was the pit in my stomach going in was unreal. I remember I have a distinct memory of driving on 316 and seeing the hospital and thinking oh, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel. And so I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
No, it's a hard career.
It is.
It's hard.
Very. That's how my mom, growing up, she was working night shifts on the weekends. So I remember that. And I remember her always saying, like, I wish I wasn't missing this. I wish I wasn't missing this. I'd have cheer competitions and things like that. And that's partially why I got into real estate, because I was like, I want to be there with my kids. So I kind of jumped in with the idea of my kids' future. So totally relate to that.
That's cool.
I worked in a doctor's office, and I remember and she was great. Like, it was a great thing, but it's hard. Like, it is hard on you. Like, when you have sick patients.
Yeah.
You know, like, it is like emotionally draining. And I remember driving to work one day and seeing this guy in an excavator and just thinking, I want to do that.
Because it's not life or death.
Right. It's not life or death. Like, it doesn't, like, what I put into someone's chart isn't, you know, like, insurance isn't going to come after, you know, like
Right.
all the things. Like, I just want to move dirt and be alone. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I vividly remember that. And I told my husband, and he was like, I think it's time for you to do something else.
Yeah.
No one should want to work in an excavator. And I'm like, it just looked so good.
Looked refreshing.
Yeah. But
Carefree.
It's hard. It's hard. It's like emotionally hard.
It
And
is.
physically hard.
And also, like, you're changing adults' diapers and then coming home to change your baby's diapers.
Yeah.
And like, oh, okay. That's enough. That's
Yeah.
enough.
So tell us how old your kids are and how old they were when you made the switch.
Okay, so now I have 3 kids. Noah's 14, Charlotte is 11, and Lila Kate's 9. And I've been a real estate agent for 8 years. So Lila Kate was 1 when I got my license.
Wow.
And so I'm trying to think. I think Noah was definitely in school, and Charlotte may have been like in a mother's morning out. So she was probably 3 at that time. So when I first got my license, Lila Kate was like my sidekick. Like, she was with me. And then eventually she went to mother's morning out, which so did Lila Kate, or so did Charlotte, I'm sorry. So that was like my time, twice a week, 9 to 12 or 9 to 1, you know, like that was the time to work, and weekends, you know. But that's how we did it.
Well,
I love that. So we found Sarah on social media because she's great at her reels and marketing and stuff. So we want to segue into that and like how you're doing, what is it that,
a real a day,
a reel a
10,000.
day.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that? And like, how did you get into know social media is where I need to be? And where did you learn how to do all that?
Well, probably because I love Instagram. That's probably a part of it. I think like even when I started real estate, I remember making these like truly cringe videos.
That's how I feel. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
That's how I feel.
I remember like just trying to find ways to be busy, you know, like the more that you go preview homes, the more that you're able to speak about homes. So I would go and do like just tour around homes, and I would record it, and then I'd post it on Facebook. And I like, honestly, like I saw one the other day, and I saved it to my phone because I'm like, I want to remember this. And it was awful. And I think that's how everybody starts.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to make the cringe videos, and you just got to kind of work through that. And then you just don't care.
Right.
And you just start posting. And you're like, this is who I am. When you see me in real life, this is what I look like. This is how I sound. So like, just show up authentically. But I think it takes a while.
It does.
through to
It
that
definitely
when we
does.
first started this, Mike's like, you have to get behind the camera. And we're like, oh my gosh. No, I don't think we can do that. But now it's
they're
like,
way
you know
more
what?
comfortable than I was. I think because I'm older, you know.
And maybe that's part of it too. Like you reach a stage and you're like, if you don't like me, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my attitude.
But then you do it and you get comments of like, we love what you're doing, you know, things like that. And it just, I feel like it feeds you and keeps you going to do that.
Yeah.
Little toot of the horn. You're like, ooh, I can make any video.
It makes you feel better. But even still hearing my own voice, I'm just
Oh,
like,
yeah. You're like,
oh,
do I sound like
wow, I sound so redneck, you know, like it's every single time I'm just like, am I really that Southern? Like, and I don't recognize that I have an accent until somebody will comment and be like, oh my gosh, I love your Southern accent. And I'm like, oh gosh.
But
What did I
I do think like with your social media, I love how you are going around through Brazelton or like through neighborhoods that you were comfortable selling and you know like the back of your hand and showing people not just like the house side of things. Like, this is where you should go to dinner if, you know, you're looking for a taco place or something like that. I always love seeing those on your stories. And I'm like, ooh, I'm learning about
the
things.
local expert.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that makes people trust you more because you know what you're talking about. So I think as real estate agents, we need to take a page out of your book on that for sure. Because here's this house. People don't care. If they're not looking to buy a house right then, they don't care about the house that
That's
I'm
true.
saying, I just showed this, you know. But just the personable experience side of things is great. So I love seeing those.
Yes.
Every time I scroll through, I'm like, ooh,
I
It
did
wouldn't
too.
take us long to be Claremont's expert.
no,
We got Dairy Spot.
Senior Fiesta.
That's not technically that's not
BP.
even Claremont. We got the Dollar General.
Oh,
We do have Dollar General, and it's got produce and everything now.
We do have an IGA, but I do not recommend stopping
We
by
don't
there.
go in there.
Sorry.
No. And the Clipper is banging. It's a
Clipper?
It's a
BP.
gas
Gas
station,
station?
a BP, and it's got lots of stuff. Shout out to Clipper.
Yeah, they've got a breakfast like buffet.
And they have
and
like a
inside
little,
of Clipper.
yes,
That's fancy.
and a Mexican.
I won't do
I
it.
mean, hate on me all you want to, but we love their little. They have a little Mexican bar there, and they will like do kind of like a Moe's, a
They get-
bowl or
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
I'll eat it. The girls love a taco from there too. It's not mystery meat. I know who owns it. Like they're local people, and they eat there too. So they
It's
would
not
eat
a
it.
taquito on the roller, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like a
yeah.
fresh bowl that
Mom,
they
what are we
make.
doing
Yeah.
for dinner? We're going to the Clipper.
We're going to Clipper. And they get so excited. They love it. We don't do that often. They close at 5. But no, like our clients follow us, you know, like they get to know us through a transaction and they follow us. So that brings value to why they're following us if we're displaying things around the community, you know, like, oh, I didn't know that there was a park at this place, or I didn't know this restaurant had this, you know. So I think you're doing big things in that, and we love to see it.
Oh, thank you. I also love like supporting those businesses.
Right.
If I'm already there, you
Yes.
know, like, hey, I just went to this really cool coffee shop, and you should go too. The next time you drive through here, stop here. They're really sweet people.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's cool too to try to like pour into them.
Because Brazelton is up and coming.
Oh, I love
my
Brazelton.
gosh.
I am obsessed with Brazelton.
I go there for my Botox appointments or
Oh,
Invisalign
nice.
appointments. whatever.
To the big city,
Oh yeah,
the big city of Brazelton.
I love it.
I've been to Chateau Alon
Yeah,
a couple times. Their spa. That was my Mother's Day gift to myself. One day.
that's a good gift.
That is a
yeah,
good gift.
like I have a day at the spa.
Yes, it was wonderful.
Maybe we should do that.
I sold a house
much
in there. That
needed.
was my largest sale. Was in Brazelton.
Oh, really?
Chateau Lawn, yeah, it
Nice.
was a good one.
How is 10,000 or how is the reels going? Do you get? We did 30 reels in 30
Let me
days.
tell you, never again.
Yeah, why?
I don't know.
No,
it was fun, but it was like, I think we were just still so new into it, and we still are. But it was like, oh my gosh, we have no more ideas. I can't think of a single thing of what else
I
to post.
could never get synced up to the words.
Oh,
I'm
like to
slow.
mouth to ad lib
Yeah.
it or
Yeah.
yeah.
But yours are just so great. Like it's just good B-roll, and you were just authentic, and just it looks like it comes so easily to you.
Well, but I've also been at this for a while.
Yeah.
and
That's true.
this is like you can scroll back and there's some really bad ones.
Yeah.
You know, like I haven't I haven't deleted much of anything. But I think that the more that you do it, I always tell people this, like anything that you try at first, it's not going to be like your best work. And then, I mean, even things that I've done like last year, I can look at it and be like, oh, I don't love that.
Yeah.
But the more that you do something, the more you realize like, what is the message I'm trying to send? What is this account really about? Because sometimes you are just like throwing things at the wind. Like this, is this my style? Is this my
Right.
style? And then once you kind of figure it out and you stick with it, that's when I think you start to see growth.
Right.
And it is a labor of love. Like I don't want, just random people following me. I really want to have more of a local presence because I do want, if you're thinking of Buford, I want you to think of me. If you're thinking of like, oh, who is that girl that loves Brazelton? I want you to be like, oh, that's Sarah Pickell.
Yeah.
She's talking about it all the time. I want people to know that about me. So more of like a community builder, I guess.
I love that.
And I think too, so when I go to look for someone, like for my wedding, for instance, I was looking for a makeup person, a hair person, you know, all these things. So I would go on their Instagram page and I'd be like, okay, who's legit? Like who does it? And then I had this epiphany and I'm like, okay, say someone wants to buy a house and they go look at my social media and I have nothing relating to real estate on Instagram. And I'm like, I wouldn't choose me if I was a client wanting to pick a realtor based on their social media presence. And I think with social media becoming such a huge part in our marketing now, like that is crucial. So I'm really trying to do better about that, but I'm still terrible. My brother yells at me. Yeah.
Reluctant, but I am. I'm trying.
I have a question. If you, this is not even in our notes, so I'm coming out of left field because this is a personal question. We've all three talked about this. Do you think that people should have your personal Instagram page and a business Instagram page, or do you think that it should coincide into one because you want people to think they love to see pictures of your kids,
Right,
you know, your real life, and you just tie it into that. Do you think that you should have two or just do it on your one?
One all day.
Yeah.
One all day.
I'm good. I agree. To get rid of 2 accounts then.
Yes. I feel like the real estate pages, Facebook pages, Instagram pages that are just like graphics from like your broker are so lame.
Yeah.
Like that tells you nothing about you or your personality. They know nothing other than like when to list your house.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not informative. I really think that, and I don't know that there's a magic formula. I think people will tell you that there's a magic formula and there's not. There's a billion ways to do it and to be successful with it. But I have found that on posts and reels, I am pretty much only posting real estate focused things. It is lifestyle things too, but I mean, it's going to be tied into real estate somehow. And my stories, I'll tell you about my life. And I think that's when people find you on Instagram, usually they find you through a reel, for example, and then they go to your stories and they're like, okay, who is this girl? And they'll start being, I'll tell you about my day. I'll tell you what I did that day or what funny thing my daughter said, you know, and that's where they're going to get to like, oh, do I want to follow?
Right.
Do I want to follow you?
Right.
And I hope the answer is yes.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I can keep people interested with things that Perry says. Kennedy too, but Perry.
Can you tell about the birthday card that you got today?
Oh yes,
You should have brought it down
my
here.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I got a hat and she won't wear it. So.
I should show the card, but she made a card for me, and it's like at the top it has these green little things that look like bows. Okay. And I was like, "Oh, Kennedy, this is so cute. Thank you for making this. You did these bows? They're really good." And she was like, "Bows? Those are mosquitoes."
Oh my gosh.
They flew out of the heart. And I was like, mosquitoes? She was like, yeah. You see those hearts? They went bzzz. I was like,
Beautiful masterpiece. It really is.
She thought it was great. And I was just like, mosquitoes?
Thank you so much. She's ready for warm weather.
Yeah. She is.
How old is she?
Kennedy's 6.
Yeah.
And Perry is 4.
They're a mess.
I texted them yesterday, another kid story. I texted them yesterday. A Christian song came on the radio, and it was just like not loving the things of the world. And Kenny was like, why do we not love the world? You know, like, and Mike was telling them, you know, like, we don't love the things of the world like money. And Perry goes, wait, I love money. And I was just like, where did they get?
Well, me too, girl, but I get the
I
gist
know.
behind
You
it.
can't like explaining things to them, and it's just so funny, like their brains and how
They're
they
just so
process.
innocent.
And so, but people love to hear that, you
They
know,
do.
like
Yeah.
they love to hear stories about and give someone a good laugh for their day. And I'm just like, oh, kids, you know,
Gotta love kids.
They're fun.
And you, I think it was like the farm listing that you had or something, and your daughter was in
Yeah.
your reels. Like she was loving that.
Oh my
People
gosh,
were
you have
loving
no
that.
idea.
Oh, it was
She
awesome.
loved it. She will like Google herself.
Really?
Oh my
Am I
gosh.
on YouTube?
Oh my
She is so proud.
that is so.
And which one is that?
That's my youngest.
Youngest.
That's Lila Kate. She's a big personality.
Lucas loves to see the reel. He like stole like some meat snacks like in this reel that we had, and he wants to watch that all the time.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm on TikTok. You are.
You are.
You're big
You
stuff.
are. You don't even know what that is, but yes, you are on TikTok.
I'm like, how do you even know what TikTok is?
I mean, they catch on
He's a hoot.
real quick these
They
days.
do.
They're all about it. So you have, how do you balance that of being a mom? You know, like scheduling, time blocking. Your kids are all in school.
Yeah, that was oh my gosh, that was a big help when they
Yes.
all went to school.
Yep.
That was a big change.
I'm sure it's like a day, like not, it's not daycare, but it helps so
Yeah.
much with your time blocking versus having toddlers at home, you know, like, okay, I have to get this done and this is only mom's morning out time. And
Yeah.
it's just a lot to get done.
It is. And I do think like the stage that you're at right now, it is probably more late nights.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't want to work past. I don't want to go to bed at night.
Yeah, I know. I
Go to
know.
bed by 10. I to this day I think time blocking is really hard. Like it is very
Yes.
hard because every day is so different. In real estate, as a mom, whatever. Like it's hard to tell you. You know, sometimes you'll get like a random Facebook message and you're like,
Yes.
oh, okay, my day is totally shifted.
Right.
So I will tell you that the biggest tip I have is I wake up early. I will drink my coffee and I'll read my Bible and I'll work out. And that's usually before the kids wake up. I'll wake up Lila Kate, start getting her ready. And I've already done my workout. I've already read my Bible. I've already done like the 2 things that I really, really want to do. And by the time 9 o'clock hits, I'm done. I've gotten ready for the day. And then I work from 9 until usually 2:30. That is, and I do have to do showings at nighttime. I have to do things on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like that is the reality of the situation. And I will tell you, I do miss things every once in a while, but it's not the same.
Right.
I am
Yes.
not missing every weekend. I am missing things. So don't be ashamed if you do miss things. Like there's usually, if you're blessed, you know, you have a partner in life that you can kind of bounce things off on, and pick up the slack. But that's my biggest tip is to wake up early and get the things done that you need to. And I know that's hard, and especially when you have little kids. I mean, you got to give yourself grace when you have little kids.
Yeah.
But I've entered a new stage
Yeah.
of parenting where like it is really important for me to not just sleep in. Because otherwise the day will get past me and I have totally missed reading my Bible. I've totally missed my time to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like just being grounded first thing in the morning, like with your devotional, it just changes the whole day.
Sure.
The whole day. And when you miss it, I know. My mouth knows, you know, like
Just sends
know.
everything
That is a
into a
good
tizzy.
tip. Good encouragement.
Faith plays a huge role into kind of our calling to do this. And like just this week, I think we were all in tears with just moms reaching out to us and telling us that, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this. I've needed this. And it's been really encouraging for us. Cause we were there, and tell us, like, you can tell us when you started, like the encouragement in this career path from other realtors is very hard to find.
Oh yeah.
So I
It's
know
non-existent.
right.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I know that you're currently with EXP and Powerhouse. Do you want to tell us like kind of how you found them and kind of where you were before that and led you there? How did that come about, and how does that help you in your journey now, and how do they encourage you, kind of thing?
I'm going to go back to something you said
Yeah.
before, and just about having faith
Yeah.
in this business. Like, you know, I left and you left like a steady into, I guess, 9 to 5, like where you work and you get paid. Like there's a direct correlation, and real estate is not that way. And so sometimes you'll work for months with a buyer and they decide to rent, or they decide to move to a different location, or they decide to take the house off the market. And you know, that's stressful. It is. So to me, leaving that it wasn't a 9 to 5, it was a 7 to 7 job, but you know, a steady paycheck. That was a really scary thing for me. But it's also been a huge builder in my faith, like to know that God always provides. It is that random Facebook message of somebody I haven't talked to and like, oh, I didn't know that like you remembered me. that's cool. That's so God. It's like, and there's still slow seasons. It is a very up and down business, but at the end of the day, I can tell you that God always provides.
Always.
100%. I'm so glad you circled back to that. That's where I was leading. And then I got sidetracked, which I'm very ADD. So, but yes, I don't know how people sell real estate without that comfort,
No, I mean,
even decisions that we've made doing this.
yeah.
How do people make decisions without the Lord? I don't know how they do
And
it.
I'll be honest, last year was my slowest year that I've ever had, but bills were still paid. Everything was taken care of. So, that just, he provided and
He does.
kept us afloat. And, it was just, I really had to lean on him. It kind of like knocked me down and was like, these are your priorities. This is what should be your priorities. And I have a whole new outlook. I almost quit last year, truly. Oh, wow. And now it's just like this fresh, whole new outlook on my career, on life, on what is important. So that's a little bit of my real estate testimony. But yeah, it's new, and I'm learning it all over again almost.
So I had a listing come up. Was it maybe 2 years ago? And it was a couple that I knew, and they were filing for divorce. And the whole time going through this listing, I prayed that their marriage would be restored. Like, that was my prayer.
Yeah.
Just that, don't take that family unit away. Well, they got back together and they decided to take their house off the market. And I was like, no, wait a minute.
Thank you, Lord, but
We've got our wires crossed. Lord.
Yeah.
Love that, but
Thank you for doing this, but
maybe y'all should start fresh somewhere new.
Right.
new memories in a new house.
Yes, but let me tell you how because I was so gracious in that, and like I looked at that and was like, you did exactly what I asked. Like you answered that prayer for me, and I think that's the best. It was beautiful. They ended up relisting their house for so much more because they updated and added acreage. Like, God was like, see?
Yeah, just trust me. Yeah.
Just trust me. And he did that twice to me.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah. He's like, here, Amanda, here's another one for
Yeah.
you
Another
to
one.
God.
They're like, we're divorcing. And I was like, oh, no. And then I was
You're
like,
not.
just restore their marriage. But let's not get those wires crossed again. And they're like, we're back together. We're not going to sell the house. I was like, okay.
So basically,
So it can
if
be-
you're on the rocks and you think about listing your house, listen with Amanda, and she will help.
She will be
get
praying
you
for
yes.
And I would tell people, I'm like, as a realtor, like, that's heartbreaking, to like pull a listing off. But like, as a Christian and as me, like, I was so excited. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, not today, Satan.
No,
Right.
Not today.
not today.
Anyway.
I love that.
For sure. So go back to
Okay.
your brokerages.
Okay.
How you who did you start with?
Did you start with
And then-
them? Give us that
Okay,
little.
so I started with Keller Williams,
Okay.
which is a great company. I have nothing bad to say about them. I left Keller Williams for a short period of time and went to a small boutique brokerage, and it was awful. Okay. I ran back to Keller Williams. Take me back. And I feel like I had a little bit of PTSD. Like I was, I'm never leaving again. But I was also not tapping into anything that Keller Williams was offering. That's not a dig at Keller Williams by any means. I just didn't feel like that. There wasn't someone there whose business I was like admiring and wanted to emulate. And then, because I love social media, I found this girl named Amy Gregory, who is in Arizona. And
Oh, she's fantastic.
she's fantastic. I mean,
We all follow her.
if you're in real estate, and you're on Instagram, I'm sure that you do. Like everybody follows Amy. And I just kept watching and was like, I really love like the way that she does business. She's a very different personality than me. She's very candid. And I'm like, I wish I could be more like that, like just authentically me and not afraid, just like, just be me. So anyway, I just kept watching for a few years. And then like all of a sudden I was like, I'm going. And so that was a year and a half ago almost. But the reason I left was, again, not anything bad about Keller Williams, but I just really I saw so many people whose business I wanted to model and just emulate.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to partner with them. So Amy has this group with an EXP called Powerhouse. And they really are powerhouses. I mean, I, jumped into that room, having been an agent for several years, and just seeing like how much business they're doing and like how they're doing it. It was like very humbling. Like I thought I was doing decent, and then like, whoa, I'm small potatoes in this room. So just really cool just to be a part of that, hear what they're doing. Most of them are solo female agents. I mean, there are some guys in there, but most of them also are moms, and so they're figuring this out, like how to work smarter, and not spend all my time doing this. I still want to be very present at home. So I found like just a room that I really wanted to be in, and I just jumped in.
Yeah, go for it.
Love that. Love that. And how long have you been with EXP / have you been with Powerhouse? That's kind of why you went there. Okay.
So, at EXP, it really matters who your sponsor is because nobody has to do anything for you at EXP. But Amy had already created this room. So if you join under Amy somehow, if somebody joins underneath me, they get to be a part of Powerhouse. So I am a part of Powerhouse because I'm in Amy's downline.
Right. And
I love the earrings because isn't it like the...
I wore these. I'm like, I'm going to wear my Powerhouse.
Yes, I love them.
Oh, is that what you get when you join?
No, I got these for myself. I'm like, Sarah, you are a baddie.
I love that. Look at you use the slang. You have
I have teenagers.
You have teenagers.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a word. And Mike said something about a baddie the other day, and I was like,
It better
what
been
is
in
a
reference to
baddie?
you.
It was actually. But anyways, I was like, what is that? He was like, you've never heard that? And I was like, when did you hear that?
We need to get you a
We
slang
are not,
notebook.
Like, I am not. She's the closest thing to slang that I have right now, you know? So I am unaware.
I'll
of it,
say things
but
to
I
my
love it.
teenagers and they're like, what are you saying?
They're like, please never say that again.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, it is so funny to me.
Oh, I know.
I love
My husband I have a 16-year-old, so he'll like try and drop like the new slang, but we're always like a year behind. Like he'll say, oh, this is so bus. And Ava's like, I mean, we don't say that anymore.
No, that's so 2 years ago.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
It's Sigma or whatever.
No cap. They're still saying that. I said something like, that girl's so unhinged the other day. And they're like, what does that mean? I was like, I really thought that was like part of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's so funny. My brother's 18, and it's like when we have family dinners or something, it's like a whole nother language. We're sitting there looking at him like, did anybody catch anything that he was trying to get to there? Because I am totally confused.
Like skibbity or whatever that word is. Like what?
Skibbity
Yeah.
toilet?
Yeah.
I don't know what it means. I don't know.
Bad.
I don't know, but just say it.
Say it
It's
again.
bad?
Skibbity toilet. Yeah. It's bad.
Skibbity.
Oh, that
no.
means bad.
I think.
That is skibbity toilet.
Can we need to have like a teenager, or maybe Sarah can just tell us.
Yeah, Sarah,
She
go
knows-
home, report back
she
to
knows all
what
of the
these
things.
mean.
Well,
I
Ada like
notified
rattled
them.
off like vocabulary words and like recorded Drew. Like she was like, I'm going to say a word and you tell me what you think it means. And his face was
That could have went viral.
the whole time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because we were like, what? And he knew ops.
Okay.
What is that?
That's like
Enemies.
opposition. Like you're
Oh,
my
yes,
that's
I
my
have heard
biggest
that.
op. That's my
She's
new
like, there's so
favorite.
many ops. And I'm like, what? Operations? Like what
I
are
would have been like, cops. There's cops.
Who's coming to get us? You know?
Yeah.
She's like, I mean, if people don't like. And I'm like,
Oh, my Lord.
Maybe.
Teenage girl. That
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
So fun.
It happens at 11 years old too.
Oh, don't tell me this.
It's true.
That's coming up pretty soon. 6 is not too far.
Don't tell me this. Mike had 2 brothers, or he is one of 2 brothers, and I had a brother. So we moved when I was in middle school. Middle school girls are vicious. So that was my middle school journey. And I know me and my mom did not have a good relationship in middle school because they moved me
Yeah.
from my friends. How dare them? And so that was terrible. So I'm just like, I'm getting double.
You'll just have to.
Yeah, double.
I love the teenage years.
That encourages me a lot.
I think it's so fun.
Okay, good.
And it's fun. I didn't love. She was like, absolutely not.
She's like,
Yeah.
I did not. It's not that I didn't love the baby stage. It was just hard.
yeah.
I love like when we can have like conversations. They have moments. I mean,
Yeah.
like, absolutely, it's tough, but I really enjoy like watching them become their own little people.
Oh yeah. That's kind of where we are now. Is they're developing their personality,
their opinions.
and yes, and they have plenty of opinions. But I do like having that conversation yesterday. It warmed my heart that they're asking these questions, especially like biblical questions. Like they're developing their own faith and stuff. And so it just is so exciting to see them grow up and how their minds work and their personalities and stuff. So I love that too. But hopefully that will continue. I will continue to love that in middle school.
It's hard when they're babies, but it's like a different hard when they're teenagers, because like at 5, you're worried about other things. And at 16, 18, you're like,
please make good choices.
This could change your life.
Like this, do not do that.
Yeah.
Do not do that.
Trust me when I tell you.
Trajectory can just go this way,
I would rather talk about like the positive things like this, because my other friend group, we're all kind of in the phase of trying to start families and, in that position. It's like, well, so-and-so told me that when you give birth, this happens. I'm like, I don't need that negativity in my life. Okay.
No, I mean, it's going to happen regardless. So just let it happen.
Just let me hear the good stuff, because I am a worrywart. So they're like, oh, just wait till this happens.
But you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine.
Look at us. We are.
Yeah.
Just pee on ourselves sometimes.
Woohoo! Yeah.
It's a part of it.
I peed on myself yesterday. That's
You didn't have to admit that was towards you. I was just saying that in general.
Yes, I know. Well, it just happens after you have kids. Literally,
it
just
may happen.
I was turned on the water.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
And it hits you. It's
Didn't make it.
There's no lead up to it.
Right. So I was the last of my friends to have a baby, and so they would all like not get on a trampoline. And I'm like, y'all are stupid. Like I could not wrap my head around that to save my life, or like jumping jacks at the gym, or different things.
Jump rope.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm like, y'all are stupid. So, little old me, a year after giving birth, we go to a birthday party, and I get on that trampoline, and I was like, ooh, God, I gotta go.
I'm done.
I get it. I'm so sorry. Y'all were right. I was wrong.
Yeah. It's fun.
No, I'm excited though.
Yeah. Can't wait for you to be on yourself.
That's what you have to look forward to.
Yeah. Okay, so that's awesome. You found your people.
Yeah. For sure.
That's your people. So we're excited about that.
I think we follow a good bit of them too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And we have found our people with these two, and
awesome.
We're super excited. I don't know when it's going to come out, but we are. I mean, it will come out in the next couple of weeks, but that's kind of why we transferred to our new brokerage, is because that's where we found our people, and we're hoping to build a community like that. And if you want to know more about that, we'll have an episode in the future, or maybe before this. We don't know the order of that, but we can't wait to do that. And Amy has done a great job. And Amy, if you're listening, we'd love to have you on the podcast. But you are very successful, and I know that's you've learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
Because even we aren't even in her Powerhouse, and we just see her stuff. And know that she's a great influence, and we can only hope to have a community like that.
Yeah.
Within our brokerage. So, I think I'm trying to.
I had one thing that I had to ask you that I think is the most genius thing I've ever seen. When you did the neighborhood dumpster and the coffee truck, oh my gosh,
we're probably
still
going to
talk
steal
about
that.
it.
Do it.
That was that was just incredible. I mean, it wasn't like you were saying, use me, let me sell your house. It was in like an indirect way that I'm sure your neighbors loved. It was your neighborhood, right?
Yeah, it was in my driveway.
Genius.
So my neighborhood would not let me use the HOA clubhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was like, well, I'll just do it in my driveway.
Yeah, plop that
But I
sucker
will
in the
tell you,
driveway.
I have an agent friend. Her name is Eileen Hill, who does this year after year in her neighborhood. So I was like, do you mind if I kind of do my own spin on it? So I think hers is called Donuts and Declutter. Mine is Coffee and Clean Out. That's what it is. So that's coming up
cute.
soon. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's great. Everybody wants to get rid of junk.
Yeah.
I mean, I want one permanently in my house, just to go
Just to
and
keep it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that
with
was
the
so
farming.
smart. So do you do not client, but sphere events like that often, or per quarter? What do you try to do?
So I'm still trying to figure this all
Yeah.
out. But honestly, events wear me out. I can't. I know agents. Some will do them like every month or every other month, and that is exhausting
And expensive.
and expensive. Yeah. So I'm doing coffee and clean out. I'm going to commit to that. That's every April. At the same time, we're going to do also in my driveway. We'll do a back to school bash. So I'll get a ice cream truck, Kona ice truck, something like that, and have it in my driveway. And that'll be the Sunday before school starts, because usually everybody's home.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to get ready for school. So that's going to be, that's what I'm going to commit to. And then obviously my neighbors can come. Obviously anybody close by, my past clients are all invited, even if, they may not come if it's super far away for them, but at least they're invited.
Yeah.
And your name is out there. The word is out there. I think I told them, I was like, do not let me forget to bring this up, because I think that's when I first started following you too, is when you posted that.
A year ago.
Yeah. So I was like, oh shoot, she's got some good ideas.
It's super smart.
Yeah.
Super smart. What's the conversion rate of that? It's not really necessarily about conversion. It's about getting your name out there.
Yeah. I heard a phrase one time that I think is like genius. This girl was like, I just want to be 5 mile famous. I was like, yes, that is it. Like, I want to be 5 mile famous. I really want to pour into my community. I want them to know who I am. I want to know who they are. Because, especially Metro Atlanta. I mean, Metro Atlanta is huge. And I will work, on other sides. But truly, if the goal is to be home and present, I really would like to concentrate that to like a 5 mile radius around my house. So that's why, I've really tried to stick that close to home. And I do think it is hard to like really measure the conversion rate for things like that. Because some of it's just like me being kind.
Right.
But I think it also takes a multifaceted approach. So like that may mean postcards. That means like door hangers and like reminding them a couple of days in advance. I also created like a neighborhood Facebook page for just my little section of the neighborhood. And
I did that and no one joined.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to tell you, it's very slow. I've had to send out multiple postcards. Oh, jeez. Have you like told people about it?
No. But I thought maybe they would find it and be like,
sure, like Cindy would if she knew.
I told her to, and she said, I haven't got on Facebook in about 4 years. I was like, well, please get on and be member number 2, please. I need someone else to potentially spread the word. So.
Well, maybe when you do your dumpster thing, you can say, by the way, do you want to be the first one to know about when I host events like this? Please be a member of my Facebook.
No, I take that back. I sent out a mailer and I had the QR code to join the Facebook group.
But you can't just do it once. Like you got to.
I know the consistency.
It's the consistency.
It's my flaw.
7 times, Mike says. That's what he tells me. If you're not going to do 7 mailers, don't do any. He doesn't talk to me like that.
I do get it.
It's true though. Like people, and I don't think it's always ill intended. Like people just get busy and forget, and it's just not on their radar like it is on yours.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's super easy to take things personal, even though it's most likely not.
Right. Yeah. And we do have other agents that farm our neighborhoods because there's a lot of people in our neighborhoods that we all know. But I guess because when I get theirs, I'm like, oh, I don't want this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that's just because I'm an agent or maybe everyone's like that. I don't know. But
I know. I had a Keller Williams agent sell a house in my neighborhood and did it and was quick.
Was very fast.
And then he got another listing and they're like, can you believe he's got another listing? I'm like, of course he does. He sold that house in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not upset about it. Go.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
But that one's sitting, so maybe they should have used you.
I mean.
I meant to tell you this before we started, but we do a segment called That Agent.
Yes.
Do you have that agent story? Because if not, JC does if you don't.
JC
we can
prepared me, and
okay, great.
I have a story for you. I feel like it's really long, and I hate to like go on and on.
No, we're good.
I'm here for
Get your coffee cups, girls.
Okay.
We're ready.
All right. So I once had a listing. These were some people that approached me, the random Facebook message, and they were like, "Hey, we want to sell our house and buy another one." And I was like, "Sweet." So I went and listed their house, and they were super difficult. Like they were, I mean, like rude, They caused me so much anxiety. They were difficult. They were just yuck, you know? But we sold their house. They got a new one. I was like, sweet. About a year later, they called me back and they're like, hey, we want to sell this house and buy another one. And I was like, oh God, you know,
Yeah.
okay. And I took the listing, and it was, you know, they had only lived there for a year. This was 2023, like in the fall. If you remember, interest rates jumped up.
Yes.
About that time.
Yes.
And it was very slow. And they wanted to price it like a good, like
Yes.
crazy higher.
Of course.
Without, they haven't done anything to the house. In fact, there's a little bit deferred maintenance, right? So I took the listing. They ended up moving out of the house at one point, and it was just sitting there. I did open house after open house after. I mean, I can't. I think I probably did 10 open houses at this house. I did virtual staging. I did twilight pictures. I took it off the market, relisted it. What else? I got another set of pictures done. Like I did everything I could think of. Whenever we talked about price reductions, I promise you they would only reduce it $1. Like I'm not even joking, $1. And the whole time
that'll get them in the door.
Sounds like that client story. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
it was that client. But I'm gonna get to the agent here in a second. So I was just like racking my brain, and then whenever there was a showing, you know, I would follow up with the agent. Hey, how did that house work for your buyer? Like, tell me any feedback. And there was a showing, and an agent came. I followed up with her, and she said, hey, it looks great in there. I have some out-of-town clients, so this was a virtual showing. They're not really ready to buy yet. I'm like, okay, thanks so much. You know, if anything changes, let me know. The next day, I got a call from the seller, and the seller decided he wanted to let me go. And I was like, okay, what happened? He said, well, we have another agent that has access, quote, to Zillow's magic wand. I was like, oh, okay. Who is it? Do you have a story like this?
Yes.
Juicy.
We were going to talk after that.
Yes.
So anyway, I was like,
Off
who
the
is
record.
the agent? And they said the name. And I was like, oh, you mean the one who just showed the house yesterday? Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I let them go. The house did sell for less than an offer that I had gotten. And I'm like, so this is two parts. Don't be the agent that's so like crummy.
Right.
But also don't be the agent that will take on a listing that's overpriced. That will, you know, that with difficult people. Just don't do that to yourself. Because you're just going to spend so much time, energy, money.
Yeah, the double photo shoot.
Where you should have spent money and time and energy with someone who does listen to you and trust you and is worth investing in.
100%. I hate that. That just makes
That's
you want to fight.
slimy.
How is that even? Is that legal?
No, it's definitely
I
not.
had my broker like deal with it. I don't know. I wasn't like thrilled with the way it was.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you know, you can't
Goodbye.
control unethical
No.
people.
Right.
But you can control how you respond and what you do in the future.
That's
So it was definitely a learning lesson for me.
Yeah.
And when you handle yourself with grace and poise going into that, like it just speaks volumes.
Yeah.
And it makes that other agent look like crap.
And hope, like, if it wouldn't have sold with that agent, you know, and I would hope that it would go terribly with them, you know, like, and they would just be like, oh my gosh, we didn't realize what we had with Sarah. So they may be like, okay, we need you back. Like, we loved what you were doing with your marketing. You know, hopefully that
And
would
I
happen.
hope that I would be like,
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks. No thanks.
that's so true.
Go
Like,
find your Zillow magic wand.
yeah, exactly. Apparently,
I can't wait to talk about this later.
that's good. Okay.
gosh.
Well, did y'all have any more questions that y'all wanted to ask Sarah before we wrap it up?
I don't think so.
This has been great. We're
Yes.
gonna have to have you come back.
I know. We need to go to lunch because they're
for sure, because
good stuff.
They're especially the faith component and being a mom.
Yeah.
like, with we could do a whole episode of that because and I think we've talked about it in our previous episodes. It's so hard to not get stressed out and take the joy away from being a mom in this business. And I think that'd be a great episode to like just pick your brain on that because
Yeah.
you are like-minded with us, and I think it's a good encouragement for the mamas to hear for sure. But that could be a whole episode.
Yeah.
in and of
Oh, yeah, in
itself.
itself.
Well, we just got back from, I don't know if you saw it, but the big AHA.
Yeah, I
event,
wanted to
and
go. I just couldn't
It was
yesterday.
so good. And it was so encouraging. Like, just, I don't know, like, I felt like it gave me permission to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, why did I feel like
I just
needed,
started doing that
Like, why
this
did I
year.
feel like I needed permission? That it
'Cause
was
you feel
okay
bad.
to do that. And so, like, sitting there, like, Jessica had told me that before, but then just hearing it from, like, 4 other speakers, I was like, I can do this. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But you just have to tell us before you do that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
she probably woke
Emergency
up to 747 text messages from us.
I
She went to
did.
bed at
8:30.
I am
8:30.
not judging. I get that wholeheartedly.
I would love it, but we just were going on and on and on. I was like,
woke
wait,
up
I
to
think Amanda's
54
asleep.
text messages, and I was like, what happened?
I was up late,
Nothing.
waiting to release the TNR, waiting. I'm like literally asleep with my hands on my computer, and Carson's like, "Hey, wake up! Don't you need to send this?" I'm like, "Oh shoot, yeah, it's 11:30 at this point." So that was real fun. But we were discussing that, and I was waiting for someone to chime in, but she was snoozing.
I was snoozing.
By 9:45, I was like, I'm pretty sure Amanda. After we had sent like 30 text messages, I was like, I'm pretty sure Amanda's asleep.
yeah.
Oh, I'm still, so I was at GAR in Atlanta from Sunday to Friday. I left there and went to Perry, Georgia, because my daughter shows dairy cows.
Oh, that's so
It was a
fun.
State show. So I was there from Friday to Sunday. I come home, and then I went to that event yesterday. Got home at 6, and so I was like,
I'm done.
Yeah,
out, cold.
she sure was.
Yep. But it was fine. It's a good thing you had your phone on do not disturb
Right.
because
You'd been so angry.
Oh,
yeah.
I would have silenced that thing so quick.
we aren't offended. We just were like, well, we
But
got
then-
Amanda's night.
Well, then we could have texted separately, but then you would have missed out on the conversation. So I feel like
So
you
we
would
kept
have
it going.
appreciated at least getting to catch up this morning. So
You were
I have
you were
FOMO.
awake. You didn't even know.
I know.
But thank you so much for coming out
Yes,
today.
thank you.
It means a
having me.
lot that you would support us in our beginning of our journey. And if you haven't checked out our previous podcast episodes, please do that. We are on YouTube, and we appreciate if you subscribe while you're watching it. That'd be great. That helps us out a ton. Like, comment, let us know what you're thinking. And if you have somebody that you want to see on our podcast, please DM us and we'll do our best to get them on here. But again, thanks so much for coming on, Sarah.
and tell them your Instagram
yeah,
handle.
where can they find you?
On Instagram, it's Sarah Selling the Suburbs.
I hope this helps you get to 10,000.
I know.
Thank you. I
She's trying to
appreciate
get to 10,000 followers.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
go
I'll
follow
take it.
Sarah.
Go
She's
follow.
doing a reel a day. So go follow her.
Who does
Please, I don't
better?
want to keep doing this forever.
I know.
Please help me.
We did 30.
But yes, thanks so much for tuning in, guys.
I have a tidbit
Oh,
that
go
I
ahead.
found the other night. I was scrolling through Instagram, and you know how it gives you, like, if you want to up your engagement, this is what you need to do. So go to your profile, and you go into the. Do you already know this?
I don't want
I
to
don't
keep
know.
talking.
Okay, the top right corner, and then you scroll down to. Hang on, let me tell you what it is.
It's like insights or something.
Potentially, but there's a toggle that you turn off, and it allows more people to find you. This could totally be a myth.
Well, did you do it?
I did
with
it, and I
Real
got
Estate
9
Mamas?
followers. I did.
Okay, good.
Well,
I got 9 followers on my personal though. So the little 3 dashes or the lines in the top right corner go down to follow and invite friends. And then take off the flag for review.
Oh, I think I've done this too.
Why?
I have to go back and look.
I couldn't tell you why it works. And it could have been
what flag for? I don't have a flag for you.
we'll look at yours. We'll find it. But that was my little tidbit if you want to do that. So for everybody's pages and ours.
We'll
too.
see if
So,
it works.
Yeah. Hey, it's good to know.
hey, you could try anything at this point, you know? But I think that's it for me. My little nugget
That
of
sounds
knowledge.
good. We'll let you know if we see improvement.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty. Are we done? We ready to go? Okay. Well, until next time, mamas, keep crushing it in real estate and at home.
Thank you.
Yeah.